Kevin Wynn with the SBA. Certain viewers have reached out to us and said there might be a little bit more red tape than they were expecting and everything. To make the process flow as smoothly as possible and kind of like streamline the whole thing, obviously there's the emotional component, there's, time is running out. What should people do to make this flow as smoothly as possible and get the approval?
Well, yeah, once they get to the Disaster Recovery Center or the Business Recovery Center, which is over there at the First Hawaiian Bank on Route 8, they should get the documents that the customer service representative uploaded up into their electronic loan application as quickly as possible. That helps to facilitate the approval process of the loans. Loan officers down in Fort Worth, Texas are also looking at these files as well. Get those documents uploaded. That's one of the biggest things that we're finding out is the documents aren't being uploaded in a expeditious manner as well, Jason. But get to those disaster recovery centers, apply with SBA, and we're going to do everything on our part to help them get that loan approved as quickly as possible to get disaster recovery funds into their bank account and get the business up and running and home owners, their primary residence up, and renters for their personal property as well.
Very well. Is there any particular document that tends to throw people, or they're just like, is there one that bubbles up? That's the one that people always leave
Sometimes out? It's their taxes have not been done and they're waiting on a CPA to do them. Maybe a 4506 needs to be done correctly. Maybe they didn't come to the Disaster Recovery Center to get that, so the 4506 is bouncing back. That's a tax form that SBA requests from the IRS, their tax forms, and maybe if it's not done pretty much correctly, it will then bounce back to us. Then we're gonna have to get back in touch with the applicant and have them refill it out. So that's another big one that's done. For homeowners, mostly it's the ownership certificate. So if they can have that information done when the loan officer asks for it, or at the recovery center, come over and get it uploaded there, that will get the process streamlined, flowing rapidly.
Since you mentioned tax forms, what if residents or tax filers, what if they have applied for an extension, but then they also want to apply with you?
Yeah, they can show us that as well. And if they haven't, because a lot of disaster zones, the extensions do come into play because the IRS gives them additional time to file. Just bring the extension in or the paperwork from the IRS, let us know, and that's going to be helpful in getting the loan approved as well.
Okay. Unfortunately, the approval rate has been batting 1,000 to this point. There have been several people that have been rejected. So for people that have been denied, at least initially, what can they do as far as the appeal
That's
process?
great. What we have is a reconsideration process and also an appeal. So there's 3 bites at the apple applicants get, both businesses and homeowners and renters. They get 6 months from the time of the initial decline for whatever reason, maybe the repayment ability or their credit worthiness. They can come back to SBA after they remedy the situation, or they can add a co-applicant onto the application for repayment ability, come back to SBA within that 6-month time frame. We'll take a fresh look at the application. A new loan officer will look at it and process it again, because we're trying to get these loans approved. If it fails again or they're declined again, they can still come back within 30 days, Jason, and ask for an appeal, remedy whatever they had we had discovered on that decline, come back within 30 days, and we'll look at it again with another loan officer, a fresh set of eyes.
Okay. There seems to be maybe a misunderstanding of small businesses are assuming that they need to maybe go to the bank that you're in over in Mighty. Do they actually need to go to the Disaster Recovery Center? And just to make sure that everybody knows exactly where they need to go if they're a resident versus a small business.
Right. A business does not need to go to the bank. They come to the Disaster Recovery Center because the SBA Disaster Assistance Program, we're a direct lender of the federal government. Therefore, our credit underwriting criteria is a lot more lenient, and the loans are processed in-house in Fort Worth, Texas. So they can also go to the Business Recovery Center, as I mentioned, at that First Hawaiian Bank, the Guam Community College, the CL Tatiano Disaster Recovery Center, the Italehan one, which is closing today, and the Guerrero Elementary School right here in Dededo, just a few blocks down the road.
There you go, right up the street from us.
Yes.
Stone's throw away.
Yeah.
Okay, and anything else? Any updates you'd like to?
Yes, I would. And we're really doing a robust business out here. We've processed over 300 loans, approved them, over $30 million thus far. And as I mentioned to you earlier, Jason, we put out a $13 million press release less than about a week ago, and we're already up to $30 million within a week. The loans are being processed, they're being approved. We encourage you to apply. Come to a disaster recovery center so you can get that 4506 filled out correctly along with the rest of your application, or go to the Business Recovery Center if you're a business. And we also do homeowners and renters at that Business Recovery Center as well.
Okay, and I want to just dovetail back real quick. I used that baseball analogy before about batting 1,000. There is a 3-strike rule as far as the number of times that you can appeal, right? Can you explain that?
Yes, you get the original application and then the reconsideration, which I mentioned. You get 6 months to come back, remedy anything you can. If it's credit, if you have to have a child support payment, just show us that you've got something going with that. If you owe some money to the IRS, show us that you've got an agreement worked out with them and you made a couple payments. If you still are declined the third time, you can still come back to SBA and appeal. We have 30 days to come back. We're going to try anything we can to get you approved, get disaster recovery money into your bank account, and get you on the road to recovery from Typhoon Mawar.
Now, I know you love island food, you've been here long enough and everything, but you're not going to be here ever.
No.
Forever, unfortunately.
Right.
What is the deadline?
The deadline for physical damage is July 27th, 2023. But if you want to, if you're a small business, you have until February 28th, 2024 to apply for an economic injury disaster loan. And those are loans that are for people or businesses that didn't suffer any physical damage, but are starting to see a decrease in revenue in their working capital to keep the employees employed, the notes payable paid, the rent paid, the lights on, but most of those employees paid so that they get through the disaster recovery period. Their working capital, they don't replace lost revenue, their working capital to keep your business afloat as we go forward from the typhoon.
All right, Kevin, thanks as always. I'm a good man.
Thank you.
Thank you.